Hello, all. I've gotten a lot of questions and comments about the cost of art supplies. Not just art supplies, but also the computer stuff, programs. Questions about, where would I recommend that people start? And that made me kind of realize that I skipped past a pretty important step in talking about supplies, which is, you don't have to get all this stuff that I've been talking about. You don't have to get all that all at once. That's good stuff to eventually get or get something that's equivalent to it. But for years, I started off with some pretty basic stuff. I mean, for years and years, throughout when I was in high school and after I graduated high school and was working on my portfolio to try to get in at Marvel or DC, and I just wanted to show you those supplies because they're relatively inexpensive and it's not as, they're basically office supplies, and you don't have to be intimidated with trying to shop around for the best art stuff. So here we go. Okay, book that I still refer back to is How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. They have other editions of it with a different cover, but they're all basically the same. So, it does a good job of talking about what makes for good layouts versus more standard ones. Like this is a very standard sort of straight-on layouts versus the next page that has more dynamic story flow, better dynamics in the angles and that sort of thing. It also talks about head and body construction, and there's if I can flip to it because it's been a little while since I've looked at it. There's actually in here you can kind of see it a little bit. It's like the artist John Buscema was using kind of a controlled scribble to sketch out the figure. Which is here it is, this is the example. This is how I tend to work, whether digital or on paper, which is to basically use a controlled scribble, and then you clean up and choose the lines that you want. So that's, this is taught in the book. It's briefly just mentioned, but you only need to see a few examples to kind of know to loosen up on your sketching and not try to draw the final line the first time. Anyway, this I can't recommend this high enough for how to draw figure construction and that sort of thing. So this is a great place for the basics. I still refer back to it now for a combination of getting back to the fundamentals and also just because it's still neat to look at. As far as anatomy and drawing the shapes of muscles, I recommend the Bridgman's Complete Guide to Drawing from Life. It's kind of a long title, but it doesn't. It covers some of the same ground as the How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, but in later chapters, there's some more information about kind of the shape of drawing muscles like this. That they look pretty dynamic. They're almost like they're crafted from stone, and in some ways they have a little bit more interest to me than the completely rounded stuff. They're slightly more blocky, or this is a good example of showing kind of the shorthand of the tricep muscle. There's like a blockiness to the forearm muscles and that sort of thing. So this is great for showing volume, and it can also identify how to draw specific muscles, but to me I don't get hung up on that. It's more about the shape and abbreviation and dynamics of how to draw those different pieces. So, okay, and then for supplies, for years I just used a standard clipboard and a basic .5 pencil, and then one of those clicky erasers that both of these you can get from office supply, or all this you can get from office supply stores. Anyone who knows me still from high school can remember me walking around with it was actually this pencil and this clipboard. I've had them for since '92 or something like that. The point is that you don't have to concern yourself with getting all the best pens and pencils and an awesome desk and a crazy monitor setup and computer setup and everything straight out of the gate. I would recommend focusing on understanding and learning the fundamentals, and that will carry you. That will take a long time to learn. You don't need a computer that's real expensive for those things. I would just focus on this stuff first, and then from there, start incorporating as time goes on, and you get a full-time job or some, side work, freelance work or whatever, work at a Taco Bell, whatever it is. As you start to get some money in, that's whenever you start buying the more expensive stuff. So Okay, I think that's it. That was it, just a quick video. So thanks everyone for your questions, and let me know if you have any more. Bye.